All right, and so those were entertainment highlights, and it's time to talk nutrition. Now today on nutrition, we're going to be talking about mindful eating. What exactly do we mean by mindful eating? Well, the person to take us into that is Naana Anane Adjei. She is the senior dietitian at the 37 Military Hospital and the general secretary of the Ghana Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. Nana, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Right.
Good morning, Nana.
Morning.
Super. So, what is mindful eating?
Okay, so mindful eating, it comes from the concept of mindfulness. So mindfulness is this, it has a bit of religious inclinations. So religions like Christianity, Buddhism all talk about not being wasteful and being present. So mindfulness is being aware of your surroundings, what's going on in your body, and valuing things. So that's the concept from which mindful eating comes from. So it's paying attention to the physical cues in your body. So how are you feeling? Are you feeling hungry? Is your tummy rumbling?
Yeah.
Or when you see food, are you salivating? Do you feel like eating it?
Yeah.
And then the emotional feelings as well. So does food make you happy? Does it make you anxious? And then how those feelings translate into the choices you make.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on the reverse, is there such a thing as mindless eating?
There is.
There
There
is?
is. And
Okay.
it's easy to eat mindlessly, especially with COVID and the lockdown and everything. When you take away the social aspect of eating, like walking to the fridge and opening a tub of ice cream and taking a spoon, and then you go back after 5 minutes and you take yeah. So that's mindless eating.
I did that this weekend. With my yogurt, I just
yeah. And then you do that, you make 4 trips and you've taken 4 tablespoons of ice cream when you could have just taken a plate or a bowl or whatever and scooped 2 spoons, sat down and then enjoyed it. Yeah, so there's mindless eating, and that's what a lot of us do. Also, people who are very busy, like on the move, they buy stuff on the roadside or they're in the office, they just order the first thing that comes to mind. Yeah, so it's easy to eat mindlessly. But we are trying to preach mindful eating. Take time, enjoy your food. And
we're talking about enjoying food. Like I've noticed in the English Africa, like Anglophone Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, we're always busy, we're always on the move. So we practice a lot of that. But when I, like living in Togo and, you know, relating with my French friends and, you know, Cote d'Ivoire and Benin, all that, people actually sit down, dining table, everything, and like relax to eat, but we don't relax when it comes to us.
And that's one key aspect of mindful eating. Right. So setting a time and a place. So lunch breaks are meant for lunch breaks. Like you need to move from your desk. But like you said, in the Francophone countries, when it's lunch, people have gone for lunch.
It's lunch.
But in English-speaking countries, like in Ghana, people sit at their desk and even don't move to get their own food. They send people to get the food, eat at the desk and all that. It takes away, because eating starts from the mind. And how your body processes food starts from the mind. So when you see food, the salivation and everything is cues that your brain is sending that digestion should start. So if you are rushing through your food and you're not chewing properly, the digestion that is supposed to start from your mouth, you skip that process. And then that's how people have issues with like bloating and indigestion when they eat and all that.
Wow. So how do we practice eating mindfully?
So there's no fixed rule. But there are certain theories that can help. So there are some questions that we should ask when we are eating. So the first question is, what are you eating? And then why are you eating? And then how much of it are you eating? So the picture is on the screen. And then how are you eating it? So are you sitting down to have a meal, or you are rushing through? I know people have busy schedules, so you can
you're lying on the bed.
Or watching TV and all that. You can have dinner as a time where you sit with your family. So having that set time for each meal helps your body to have a good routine, and the body works well with routine. So you have a time that you sleep, you have a time that you take your breakfast, and then you try and work around it. Of course, we are not robots, so you cannot eat at 7 a.m. every day. But if you have a window of about 2 hours and you are eating within those 2 hours, it really helps. And then for mindful eating, one important thing is also valuing food.
Okay.
So where is the food coming from? When I was young, we used to say this prayer: God bless the farmer, the cooker,
and the eater.
Yeah.
Amen.
So it's actually mindfulness, because you are thinking about, where is my food coming from? There's a farmer in a village somewhere who has really worked to get the food to you. And what's the impact of what I'm eating on the environment? So if you are eating a lot of processed foods, we know that all these factories release carbon emissions and all that come back to affect us. So thinking about food that way and taking your time helps us a lot.
But you know the way we eat. I mean, you go to a chop bar, how are you going to eat mindfully over there?
So that's why I said that people can start by having a meal time that they really sit down to eat. But you can actually slow down your eating at a chop bar.
Okay.
It's also about what you are eating. So if you are eating at a chop bar and it's like a touch and go kind of thing, are you ordering 2 nice balls of fufu with a whole zoo on your food?
The full zoo complement.
So it's about, because going to a chop bar with friends can also be a really good social activity. You go and have fun and eat, and that's the essence, like that social setting of eating with friends and family. But not like talking on the phone, because that distracts you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So would you say that it's something that works for everyone?
So there are people who have conditions like eating disorders, which are beyond just mindless eating. So if someone has anorexia, for example, just telling them to eat mindfully may not help them. So people with specific conditions may need a diet plan. So something that mindful eating is not about is that it's not about dieting. So it's not about having a list where you are eating the same thing every time or all that. But for people with specific conditions, maybe someone with diabetes or an eating disorder, they need a certain kind of guidance and a routine to help them. So people with issues like that need to work with a dietitian to incorporate mindful eating into whatever therapeutic management they are doing.
Yeah. Now, you say that, well, we know that you're, a member of the Ghana Academic Academy, Nutrition and Dietetics. What's that body about?
So it's the professional body for all nutritionists and dietitians in Ghana and other nutrition professionals. So we have technical officers in the field. And GAND is like the umbrella body, so it's the professional body. And we have set July aside as the nutrition month for Ghana. So all through July, and thanks to Citi TV, we'll be here on Mondays, all the Mondays throughout July, to talk about some topics. So today we talked about mindful eating. There'll be other topics throughout the month. And then on our social media channels, we'll be sharing a lot of messages on different aspects of nutrition. So.
But how important is the mindful eating to your diet?
So it helps to bring you that presence that you have. Helps with digestion, like I said. So if you're digesting your foods well, you are absorbing your foods well. So you get a lot of good nutrition from the food that you are eating. It also helps people who are on weight loss regimes, because it doesn't do that restrictive kind of eating. So a lot of people are on very restrictive diets for weight loss, and the psychological impact of that makes it unsustainable. So introducing mindfulness into that weight loss management helps people to be able to achieve long-term weight loss. That's what prevents losing 3 kilos and gaining 5 kilos back. Because it's like you cut off a lot of things, and then when the diet is over, it's like, okay, let me eat what I wanted to eat. But if you're being mindful, you are having it in little bits, so it helps that aspect.
So you're talking, when you say in little bits, are you saying we should eat in bits? So how many times should we eat in a day? Some people say, oh, you can eat 5 times in a day, but in bits. And some people say just eat 3 and that's it. So what is it?
So we have general rules, and then we have specifics for people with conditions. So generally 3 times a day is okay, but there are people who eat twice a day and they are still healthy because they are not hungry. We advise that you eat 3 times a day. For people who are trying to do weight loss or manage their blood sugars, a dietitian would split their meals and then we have those 3 meals and 2 snacks, or 6 meals in a day. So it's really 3 meals in a day for the general population. If you need a snack, you can have a snack or 2, and the snacks should be healthy enough. But if you don't feel hungry, you don't have to feel pressured
to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the graph
what are we looking at?
Yeah.
So this is another way of eating mindfully. So the first module I talked about was like the what and the why you're eating and all that. This talks about how to eat mindfully. So the first one in the red, it says observe. So observing your surroundings and the food you are eating and paying attention. And observing your body as well. Are you hungry? Sometimes it's just cravings and emotional eating. So asking yourself those questions. And then there's savor. Savor means take your time. Put your cutlery down and chew the food.
And swallow and enjoy.
Yes, yes. And then being aware.
The family members will be very happy with you for sure.
And then being in the moment. So not being distracted. Not being distracted is an important aspect. And
then non-judgment.
Yes, non-judgmental, because some people associate certain foods with being bad. So foods like desserts are viewed as bad. And it's for you to give yourself some grace. That prevents you from overeating when you have the chance to. So if you decide that, okay, every evening I'll have a dessert after my dinner, but it's like a small bar of chocolate. That's better than, oh, I want to eat chocolate, but I'm feeling guilty. Okay, let me take a piece. And then you go back, take another piece. And then it all comes together
before
and you have eaten more than
half a bar in one evening.
And then sometimes when you take your time to be present with the food you are eating, you realize that, okay, I like this, but you are communicating the taste to your brain and all that. So it takes away the sense of anxiety or expectation from eating what you get from eating that food. So it helps you to be moderate and helps cut down the cravings.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. We really appreciate your time. Naana Anane Adjei is a senior dietitian with the 37 Military Hospital, and she's been helping us to get into the whole idea of mindful eating. She's also a general secretary of the Ghana Academy of Nutritionists.